Transport Secretary Mark Harper vowed to put an end to the war on motorists by ending harsh rules unfairly targeting ordinary drivers. Councils will be stopped from treating motorists like cash cows with overzealous enforcement of minor offences. Announcing a package of measures ahead of his keynote speech to the Conservative Party conference on Monday, Mr. Harper said he wants to end the anti-car campaign of the metropolitan elite. The cabinet minister also vowed he will not give in to militant unions, even if it means rail strikes all the way to the general election, as a politically motivated walkout brings the rail network to a halt again on Saturday. Mr. Harper told the Daily Express he will protect people's freedom to use their cars. "We are the party of the driver," he said. "We're taking action to end the punitive measures that unfairly target ordinary drivers. As well as stopping blanket 20-mile-per-hour zones being imposed in England, it will become easier to challenge existing restrictions on major roads. A review will be launched into preventing councils from generating excessive amounts of profit from traffic offences and overzealous enforcement such as at yellow box junctions. Bus lanes will only be enforced when there is enough demand and divisive low-traffic neighbourhoods will be axed." He said, "It's a plan for drivers and setting out a proper structure to say we recognise for most people the car is really important. It's a big part of people's freedom and independence and getting to work and how they live their lives. And we want to make sure that people have got proper choices about how they travel. So they can cycle, they can walk, but they can also drive, and that you're not feeding this what appears to be a conversation where people are always anti-car, anti-driver and making life difficult for people who drive, which is most people in the country." He said there is a divide between the metropolitan bubble where people talk about cars like they're a bad thing, and the vast majority of the rest of the country who rely on their cars. Mr. Harper insisted there is a clear divide between the parties and pointed to the punitive approach to drivers taken in Labour-run London and Wales. He said the decision taken by Prime Minister Rishi Sunak to delay a ban on the sale of new petrol cars by 5 years was very sensible. "But we're still moving towards a world where new cars will become zero-emission," he added. "And in that world, that's how you deal with the impact on net zero and on carbon, not by telling people they can't drive." Mr. Harper said that new guidance will not stop councils from introducing 20-mile-an-hour zones around the school on housing estates. "What we're saying is that blanket 20-mile-an-hour speed limits don't make sense, and that's what they've just done in Wales. The government will also make it easier for motorists to challenge existing 20-miles-per-hour zones on major arterial roads. New guidance will also call for bus lanes to only be in place at times when services operate or there is high demand." Mr. Harper will announce the plans at the Tory conference in Manchester, which is being disrupted for the second year running by train strikes. He vowed to stand firm against the unions all the way up to the general election rather than take the easy option of settling the dispute by handing over cash without securing any reforms. Members of the drivers' union ASLEF at 16 train operators will strike on Saturday and Wednesday, with no services on Avanti West Coast, Cross Country, Northern, Southeastern and Transpennine Express. Drivers will refuse to work rest days again next week, from October 2 to 6, which is also expected to cause disruption.